back to Battle Strike channel. My name is Robert Zabias and I'm an ISK British Kickboxing Champion. Today's focus is on how to throw that nasty rear uppercut. When we throw that nasty rear uppercut, one thing we want to make sure is we get that nice, lovely fighting stance. So when we're throwing that rear uppercut, we want to make sure we dip into that leg. We're going to dip into it slightly, and now as we come up, we're going to throw that uppercut from here. We keep everything nice and tight. We dip down. As we come up, we're going to rotate that back foot forwards and then explode into our shot. We don't want to swing our hand down here and then just throw it as an arm shot, shoulder shot. We want to make sure we put that entire body behind our punch. So from side view, I'm here. I'm just throwing that rear uppercut. I'm going to sit back. Because my rear shoulder is to the back, I don't have to rotate it anymore. I'll just sit down and then come up with it. Here, I'll come up with it. With the rear uppercut, I will never throw it to like long or mid-range because how far back it is. So if I'm going to throw it from here, I'm always going to try to keep it tight. So we're going to go, nice and tight. So I wouldn't throw it trying to land my shot to my opponent where he's far away, because I'd say if I throw it, it leaves me exposed for a lot of counters, and I don't want that. When I throw it, I want to make sure it's going to land and it's going to hurt my opponent. So here, I'm going to sit and I'm going to throw that short range uppercut. So I sit into my leg and I throw that uppercut. When you throw an uppercut, you make sure that your elbow stays underneath you, because you're saying if you go your elbow to the side, it's not as efficient and then more becomes like a hook than an actual uppercut. Because you want to land it straight down the middle, through the gloves, through my opponent's gloves, and you're going to try to land through it and then get that head either up and then follow with our next strike, or you're going to land through it and try to knock our opponent out. When you throw your uppercuts, one thing you want to focus on is how to turn your fist, okay? So you can, here, as you throw it, you can turn through and try to get that hand through your opponent's gloves and knock him out. However, sometimes if they've got a tight guard, it's not going to work. So what you want to do is, you want to make sure your wrist or your thumb is facing you, because as you're going to throw that uppercut, it doesn't feel as comfortable, but it allows you to set up other shots. If you know your opponent's got a tight guard and you can't get through with it, with that uppercut, don't rotate it, because right now it's a small surface area. But when you put a glove on, your surface area increases by double, okay? So as I'm going to throw it here, I rotate, I can't get through, my opponent's guard is too tight. He's very defensive, he's very tight, everything keeps nice and locked in, nice tucked in, you can't get through it. So what we could do now is, as you throw that uppercut, you don't rotate that fist, you keep that thumb facing you, and as you throw it, you just come through it here. And then it sets up, say your lead hook, it sets up your thumb, knee, just whatever gets that head pinged up, head goes up, hook comes in, head goes up, knee comes in. Here, skip it in, opposite knee. That's for your kickboxing. So for boxing, just use your hands. Okay, so let's go through one more time. So, if you're throwing your uppercut, you dip and come up and you throw, rotating that fist, trying to land them two knuckles. But your opponent's guard is too tight. You can't get through it. Every time you throw it, it lands on his forearms and then slides up his gloves, and that's it. There's no actual damage caused to your opponent because everything goes on the glove and then it goes away. So, to open him up a bit more, because once again, if you put a glove on, your fist is just going to double. So this time we're going to go up here, facing the thumb to us now. Instead of rotating it out, we're facing us now, because it keeps the hand smaller, so if there's a little gap, there's a high chance it's going to slide up. This is a good way to set up your next strike. I used to spar with one of the professional boxers, he's retired now, but that's how he used to land these jabs and these uppercuts on me. Every time he threw an uppercut, he didn't rotate his fist, he just pinged it up and then bam, followed him with the left up. And it was horrible, okay? Because no matter what I was doing, kept my hands tight, he came in, opened my head up, pinged it up, and he came with a left hook. But then, once I started keeping my hands too tight so he can't get this up, I basically left myself open for hooks to the body, and then that's what he capitalised on. He just threw that uppercut nice and fast, and then boom, took my body out. So that's a good thing to practice on. You can't land that uppercut from here, try it this way. See what your opponent does. If he starts taking your hands in too tight, okay, go to the body. If he doesn't take his hands too tight and you land that uppercut, just crack him with that left hook, okay, that lead hook. Crack him with a knee. If his hands go up, if his head goes up, there's a high chance his hands are going to go up. So you land it here, body becomes open. So here, pump, throw your knees, pump, throw your kicks. The best bag I find for throwing uppercuts is your wall mounted bag, but not everyone has it. If your gym hasn't got it, or you're just training at home and you haven't got one, but you've got a hanging bag, heavy bag, you can still use it. So I'm just going to show you how to use your uppercuts on your heavy bag. So, when we first start off with our right uppercut, rear uppercut, we want to make sure we're in that good close range distance, okay? Because if I throw my rear uppercut from here, I leave myself open for a lot of shots, and we don't want that, okay? We want to keep everything nice and tight. So, when I'm going to throw my uppercut, I'm always going to make sure I get inside, I'm inside on that pocket here, boom. Because now I can throw it. When I throw that uppercut on the inside, I have to make sure everything stays tight. Because if I can throw my uppercut, my opponent can throw an uppercut. If I throw my uppercut, my opponent can throw a hook. So if I throw my right uppercut and I drop my left hand, I'm open for a right hook, I'm open for a right uppercut. So I'm just open for that right side. So if I throw my uppercut, I have to make sure I stay tight. Everything stays tight. I can't go too wide with my shot. I can't throw anything too loose. I can't throw anything too wild because I'm inside that pocket. Which means whatever I can throw at my opponent, he can throw it back. So we stay here and we just go bam. When you practice on the bag, don't try to hit it through because the uppercut doesn't go that way. It goes up. You're trying to land it underneath each chin. So when you throw it on your heavy bag, try to practice glide the glove across the bag. Here, boom. Boom. If you throw in your lead uppercut and you throw in your mid-range to long-range lead uppercut, yeah, fine. You can push through it because now the shot changes a little bit. But with that rear uppercut, you want to keep everything tight here. Boom. Boom. And then practice going thumb in, because now it allows you to get through a very tight guard. Another thing you can do is, when you're throwing your right uppercut, or your rear uppercut, from long range, mid range here, so let's say I'm using my jab, and I'm just popping my jab out. If I'm going to throw my uppercut from here, it's not going to land unless I try to pull it out. But if I'm going to pull it out, I'm leaving myself exposed for kicks, knees, everything in kickboxing, okay? So, what I'm going to do now is, as I throw my jab, I'm just making sure I'm in range. Because if I throw my jab, what I need to do now is, as I'm going to bring my hand back, I'm going to step in and throw that short uppercut. So I go tap, tap, moving around, there, as I flip that hand, I throw it. So, you're not throwing it long, but you're letting that jab dictate your pace, your distance, and then whenever you're ready, you just step in and let it rip. And once again, if you nail it, it's setting you up for other strikes. Your hooks to the body, your crosses, everything else, okay? So, if you come here, get his head up, you throw your hook. Using your jab to set your distance. Here, as you come in, boom, you land that uppercut. You get lucky enough, you're going to knock him out. That's it. Easy. Fight's done. Don't have to worry about anything else. However, if you find you've thrown that uppercut, but you just can't knock him out, but you still land that uppercut, head pings up, you set up your next shot. Here, set up your lead hook, and then lead hook to finish the job. So sometimes your uppercut's not going to be the best thing to knock somebody out, but it will allow you to set up your other strikes. The last practice we're going to go on to is our wall mounted bag. Just like with the lead uppercut, you're going to do the same with the rear uppercut. We're going to use that wall mounted bag. It just allows us to practice the uppercuts a lot better than just hanging bag or heavy bag. So when I'm onto this bag, here once again, when I throw that rear uppercut, I don't want to throw it from mid-range to long range because it just leaves me open for too many strikes, from too many counters, for kicks especially. And if I get kicked in my ribs, one hand's up, okay, I've got no defence. Worst thing's going to happen is you're going to have a broken rib, and we do not want that. What we're going to focus on now is that nice, lovely short range uppercut. Here, I'm keeping everything nice and long and far away. So if you're trying to throw that uppercut from here, it's not beneficial for you at all, unless you're going to just use it as a fast thing to come in and something else, which works perfectly fine if you're using it to set up. But if you find somebody good, they'll be able to see that coming. Okay, and as soon as they see that uppercut, they'll just kick you away. One of my training partners, he is awesome with kicks. So as soon as I make the smallest mistake, okay, he just takes my body off. So if I would throw a rear uppercut on him from here, he just takes my body away. He does not let me get it out from here. So with him, I know because he's a good kicker, I have to close that distance here and then throw everything on inside. So as I throw it now, as I bring that jab back, I'm going to step in with it and then let it unload. Nice. Perfect. From there, once again, you can practice now going adding our hooks into it, because our uppercut sets up our hooks nicely. So here, hook, because the way our body rolls, it allows us to put that next shot in. Just practice this, because saying that you will fight people or you will train people that have got a very nice side guard, so the uppercuts can't land through. So it's good to just practice, keep that thumb in. That's this, bam, 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 bam. Okay, and the next one is we're just going to stay inside. Okay, we're going to stay close. We're just going to practice throwing that uppercut from here. So we stay in, and then bam. Okay, so that was me turning my thumb up, trying to get that power into it. And now let's practice with the thumb staying facing you, where you're just trying to get a little fast one. You're trying to get in, because if you get it through, the head pings up. Once the head pings up, what happens next? You allow yourself set up your next strike. So head pings up, body. Head pings up, head. So Forgot to mention this on your lead uppercut, but the same principle applies when you throw that lead uppercut. Sometimes just practice keeping your thumb facing in, because if somebody's got a tight guard, okay, you can't get through it, that lead uppercut will get through it better than this, because you just see how much surface area I've got to hit with, smaller than here. So it goes twice the width of the glove, or it's half the size. If I throw my lead uppercut from here, okay, it doesn't get through because my opponent's guard is too tight. If I just rotate this way, there's less power, but it's higher chance the uppercut will get through on both hands. Okay, once it gets through, it allows you to set up your next shot. So let's say you land it here, head goes up, hands go up, body becomes open. Head goes up, hands don't go up, head becomes open. And let's say the opposite. Here, hands go up, head go up, goes up, body open. This way, head goes up, hands stay down because he's putting his head up, hook to the head. So just give both variations to practice, see how it goes. If you want to improve yourself, okay, if you want to improve your technique, okay, find a mirror, because you can watch what you're doing. You can watch your strikes, you can watch how your uppercuts, hooks, crosses, jabs, everything lands. Or get your phone out and film yourself. The phone camera nowadays is so high resolution, you can see every detail of everything you're doing. So if you're practicing, you're filming it, let's say you want to practice you want to pay a bit more focus on your feet. So when you throw your strikes, film it, look at your feet, make sure your feet rotate perfectly, you throw your strikes, check how you land. Is the elbow too high, elbow too low, okay, or you keep it perfect. Okay, so you can see all these little key details, and then if you want to compete eventually one day, then I would suggest you to get a coach, because he will be able to pick on all the things you do wrong and allow you to fix them or correct them, because you do not want to create bad habits, because bad habits could end up costing you a world championship one day. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. My name is Robert Zabias. Follow my fight journey on Instagram at Rob_Zab, and I'll see you soon.